Why most Americans never become wealthy. Chapter 1. The American Dream is Slipping Away. It's 6 in the morning. The alarm goes off. You hit snooze once, maybe twice, before finally dragging yourself out of bed. You make a quick cup of coffee, get dressed, and head out the door. Within minutes, you're sitting in traffic with thousands of other people who are doing exactly the same thing. Everyone is rushing to work. Everyone is chasing a paycheck. Everyone is hoping that this year will finally be the year they get ahead financially. But for millions of Americans, that moment never comes. Instead, life becomes a routine. Wake up, go to work, pay the bills, sleep, repeat, week after week, year after year. Then one day, almost without realizing it, 20 years have passed. You look at your bank account, you check your retirement savings. You still have a mortgage, maybe a car loan, maybe credit card debt. And suddenly, one question hits you harder than anything else. I've worked my whole life, so why don't I feel financially secure? That question isn't rare. In fact, it's becoming more common than ever. Because despite living in one of the richest countries in the world, millions of hardworking Americans are finding it harder to build wealth. And here's the surprising part. Most of them didn't make one huge financial mistake. They didn't lose everything in the stock market. They didn't gamble away their savings. They didn't wake up one morning and decide to ruin their finances. Instead, they made hundreds of tiny decisions that felt completely normal at the time. A slightly nicer apartment, a newer car, a bigger television, another streaming subscription, ordering takeout instead of cooking, financing furniture because the monthly payment seemed small. None of those choices felt dangerous. But over the course of 30 years, they quietly changed the direction of their financial future. That's how wealth disappears, not all at once, but one small decision at a time. The myth we've all been told. From the time we're children, most of us hear the same advice: study hard, get good grades, go to college, find a stable job, work hard, save money, retire comfortably. For decades, that advice worked reasonably well for many families. A single income could often support a household. Buying a home felt achievable. College costs were lower. Healthcare was more affordable. Every generation generally expected to do a little better than the one before it. That expectation became known as the American Dream, the belief that if you worked hard and played by the rules, financial success would eventually follow. But today's economy looks very different. Housing prices have climbed dramatically in many parts of the country. Healthcare costs continue to rise. College tuition has become a major financial burden for many families. Childcare, insurance, groceries, and everyday living expenses consume a larger share of household budgets than they once did. At the same time, social media constantly encourages people to spend more. Every scroll shows luxury vacations, designer clothes, expensive restaurants, and people who seem to be living perfect lives. Many people begin asking, why don't I have what everyone else seems to have? And that's where financial stress begins. The difference between income and wealth. Here's one of the biggest misconceptions about money. People often confuse a high income with wealth, but they are not the same thing. Imagine two people. The first earns $200,000 a year. The second earns $85,000. Most people immediately assume the first person is wealthier. But let's look closer. The first person has a large mortgage, a luxury SUV payment, credit card debt, expensive vacations, and spends nearly every dollar they earn. The second person lives below their means, invests consistently, avoids high-interest debt, and increases their savings every year. Fast forward 20 years. Who is more likely to be financially independent? Very often, it's the second person, because income creates lifestyle, but assets create wealth. Real wealth is measured by something much quieter. How much money continues working for you even when you're not working? That includes retirement accounts, investments, businesses, rental income, emergency savings. These things rarely attract attention on social media, but they create something far more valuable than attention. They create freedom. Freedom to choose your work instead of needing every paycheck. Freedom to handle unexpected expenses without panic. Freedom to retire on your own terms. And that's why many people who look wealthy are actually financially fragile, while others who appear ordinary quietly build lasting financial security. A different way to think about money. What if the goal wasn't to look successful? What if the goal was to become financially free? That shift in thinking changes everything. Because once you stop trying to impress other people, you can start making decisions that genuinely improve your future. Every dollar becomes a choice. Spend it today for a moment of satisfaction, or invest it so it can create opportunities for years to come. That's why building wealth isn't about making one perfect investment. It's about consistently making small, smart financial decisions. And the first mistake that prevents most people from doing that begins the moment they receive a raise. Instead of building assets, they begin upgrading their lifestyle. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it silently keeps millions of Americans from ever becoming wealthy. Imagine getting the phone call you've been waiting for. Your boss asks you to come into the office. You wonder if something is wrong. Instead, you hear the words every employee dreams about. Congratulations, we're promoting you. Along with the promotion comes something even better, a raise. Maybe it's an extra $10,000 a year. Maybe it's $20,000. Maybe even more. You leave the office feeling proud. You've worked hard for this moment. You tell your family. You celebrate with friends. You promise yourself that life is finally going to become easier. But here's the strange part. For millions of Americans, just 1 year after receiving that raise, they don't feel any richer than they did before. How is that possible? Where did all the extra money go? The answer lies in one of the most common financial traps in modern life. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest reasons people earn more money without ever becoming wealthy. The raise that changes everything for the wrong reason. Let's imagine two friends. We'll call them Jake and Daniel. They graduated from college together, started working at the same company, earned similar salaries, and after 5 years of hard work, they both received the exact same promotion. Their salary increased from $70,000 to $90,000 per year. On paper, both of them were now earning an extra $20,000 every year. But their financial futures would soon look completely different. Jake decided it was finally time to enjoy the rewards of his success. He traded in his reliable sedan for a luxury SUV. He moved into a larger apartment because, after all, he could now afford it. He upgraded his smartphone, bought designer clothes, subscribed to premium streaming services, started eating out several nights every week. After all, he had earned the raise. He deserved it. Daniel celebrated too. He took his family out for dinner, bought himself one nice gift. Then he made one simple decision. He increased the amount automatically invested from every paycheck. Before he had a chance to spend his raise, a large portion of it went directly into investments and retirement accounts. His lifestyle improved slightly, but his future improved dramatically. Fast forward 20 years. Jake earned hundreds of thousands of dollars more during his career, yet every raise disappeared into bigger monthly expenses. Daniel earned almost exactly the same salary, but because he consistently invested the difference, his investments had decades to grow. The gap between them wasn't created by income, it was created by habits. If you found this video useful, share it with someone who just got a raise. And if you want more practical videos about money, saving, investing, and building wealth, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.